You are listening to DC On Screen.
2-1 will do.
Man, you're coughing now.
Yeah, I just got to get a good one out of my system. I'll be right. Let him settle down.
Yeah, no, I understand. I've been terribly sick.
Mm-hmm.
And, yeah.
And then got terribly sick.
I feel bad because I've only watched like 2 or 3 episodes of Batman Cape Crusader. And I'm enjoying it so far. But
I had time a few nights ago to look it up and see that it was going to basically come out in a couple of hours from when I was looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
And then haven't had a couple hours since that time.
Yeah.
I think it will tonight, though.
Well, the whole season's up, so.
Yeah. It looks pretty sweet.
Yeah, I don't know the context, but apparently there's some sort of press junket in, I think, episode 4, they said.
Mm-hmm.
And Fleischer Lois is there with a version of Jimmy Olsen.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That's solid.
Yeah. That just made me want to watch more.
Mm-hmm.
But I laid down last night. My wife was asleep because she's sick too. And I thought, this is a good, my wife's asleep, I'm awake. This is a good excuse to watch Rebel Moon, the director's cut. And I turned on the TV, and before I even knew it, I was watching Back to the Future.
Yeah.
And I watched all 3 movies and fell asleep.
Yeah.
I guess I was sick. I needed comfort. I need my comfort movies, and Back to the Future is the best trilogy ever. Sorry, Warsies.
I don't think I've watched it since I was like 8.
You're terribly, you're just wrong. You need to.
I mean, I don't even know what trilogy I think would be above it, and I feel strongly that is not the best trilogy of all time.
That Back to the Future is not?
I feel strongly somehow.
Oof.
I really don't think I've seen anything but a clip since I was in the single digits.
Yeah.
Maybe just post single digits as far as my age goes. So I'm not exactly talking through anything other than the ass-oriented orifice, but like I still don't really know. Like surely The Matrix has got to be better than that.
No. The Matrix is not better than Back to the
Just
Future.
off the top of my head, I want to be like, no, surely, right? Right, surely that's
also, The Matrix is not a trilogy anymore.
better. It's a quadrilogy or something.
Yeah, but importantly...
What is a quadrennial? What the fuck do you call a 4-part? Is it just a 4-parter? Because that seems kind of lame. Is that all we can do? Yeah.
Quadrology, maybe?
It's a quadrant of films.
Yeah.
A season, if you want to put it a certain way.
It's all subjective,
Mm-hmm.
but Back to the Future probably, like, it hit me at such a young age. I got to it at such a young age. I will probably never think anything is better. Any trilogy is better than that. It's just like a total comfort for me.
No, I don't blame you. I just haven't revisited it in so long that I just feel like in my soul that can't be right, but I have nothing to prove you wrong.
If you do,
mm-hmm.
and I wholly suggest that you go back and check those movies out.
I'm curious now.
You will see, like, there's so much interconnected perfection. Like, they got very, very close to lining things up perfectly. Because he goes back to 55, then back to 85, and then has to go back to 1955, but he's running around in the background of where his previous character was in 1955, and you're seeing background things, like parts where they cut away.
Mm-hmm.
You're now seeing like filler in between those scenes as Marty is doing something in the foreground.
Gotcha.
It's very cool. They did such a good job with it.
All right, live action Futurama. Gotcha. Okay.
I mean, if you want to call it what it is,
It's tightly written, though.
It's very tightly written. Anyway, I'm David C. Robertson. This is Jason Goss.
Hey.
You're listening to DC on Screen, so we should probably talk more about DC.
Yeah, a lot happened.
A lot happened. I got to ask you.
Getting to start it.
Yeah. SDCC happened.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of this new DCU logo? This new old DCU logo?
The new old logo?
Yeah.
I mean, especially with the gradient. I want to, like, tattoo it on me. I love it.
Uh-huh.
I don't actually want it on me in any capacity.
Right.
I'd get a henna or something. But how dumb would it be to get a comics tattoo on you thinking that was going to last forever.
Mm-hmm.
Even in the best of circumstances, I want to be like, we'll see you in 16 years, new logo. And that's me being very, I guess, a little extreme on the end of that. No, I don't know. Some of them last a couple decades, don't they?
I don't know. You kind of, but
they go back and forth. And I do love this one, though. I love the little, I don't know, what they used to call that one, like the bullet case one or something?
The bullet.
Yeah. Always loved that design.
Bullet. Yeah. Well, it's the classic. It's the one that we grew up with. Like, that was DC Comics from, like, the 70s to, 2011? Something like that? I don't even know. Like,
wow.
I remember being, it was the bullet for years and years and years. And then when I was an adult, at some point, I looked down and went, ugh, that's a new logo. Ugh, I don't like it. And
I tend to associate it with the smell of Stell cigarettes and wood paneling. Because, we grew up in the 80s. So
yeah, of course. Yeah, well, 80s and 90s.
But the logo was there in my head. Somewhere in all that.
I think it's smart. I've seen some people complaining about it. Like, oh, how original. Like, no, they need to go back to this. They've always needed to go back to this.
Yeah.
It was always a misstep, I feel, to try to, like, spruce it up. Ooh, now we're a swirly oval with DC in 1 star, and now we're like a DC with the page turned down, and nope, I just like the bullet. And did you see the Jim Lee sharing the animation for the DC studios with Superman popping the chains, like old Golden Age Superman popping the chains and it's swirling around?
No, I hadn't seen the actual animation part of it.
I sent you a link.
I'm going to watch it while you talk. I like it. Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Hey, little buddy.
I was very pleased with that.
Yeah.
All right, so Batman Cape Crusader, as we talked about earlier, is already dropped, and you can watch the entire first season on Amazon Prime. What did you think of Minnie Driver's Penguin? Did you see the first one, at least? I can't remember if you told me.
Which part?
The first episode.
I don't think I have. No, I don't think I have yet.
Because they totally did, like, a female penguin, and Minnie Driver is playing that penguin.
Huh.
I thought it was great. She, she's brutal. She's brutal, dude.
I mean, I could dig it. She seems like one of those people. I feel like I only see her every 10 years, and then she pops in and does something extraordinarily, and then goes away again.
Well, I mean, that's what you do when you get big, and you can choose.
And you just pick when you want to. Like, who the hell has ever seen The Riches? But I have. It was wonderful.
I don't even know what that is.
It was her and Eddie Izzard.
Oh.
And premise was cool. It's been a long time. But I think the premise was that they kind of basically move into some life with a lot of affluency that's not there. They're just con artists.
Yeah.
And they basically hijack someone's life.
I think you've told me about this before.
Possibly. Two very talented people, and it made for a hell of a show for me.
Yeah, I think the last time I saw her was like Return to Me or some shit, which was like in the 90s.
True.
Or early 2000s. And now Penguin.
There was a comedy recently.
Uh-huh.
I will in a year, I wouldn't remember the name of it. I think it had the guy from Reno in it.
Thomas Lennon?
No, I can never remember the guy's name. Tall black dude on Reno, though.
Oh, that guy. I know who you're talking about. He was on Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
If you name this show, I want to say it had to do with the kid in a wheelchair. But
I think he was also on Kimmy Schmidt at some point.
I remember his one scene where apparently in this new show, his character is like deeply into the royal family, like is embarrassed about how much they geek out about it. I just would walk through and occasionally see the show, but she was there. I remember now.
Okay.
Yeah. She showed up, and then here we are, killing folk again.
Yeah. So the Penguin's coming in September.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that Matt Reeves?
Close.
Yeah, I know. Have you seen that they are referring to his universe as the Batman Epic Crime Saga?
No.
Yeah, that's what he's calling his universe.
All right, so we have a name, I guess.
Yeah.
Are we sticking with it this time?
I mean, that's for his universe. I mean, we've never had a name for it except for the Reeves stuff.
Oh, no, I know. Just the whole family of Reeves stuff moved around a little bit with what was coming, so I don't know.
I mean, yeah.
I feel like every episode we've had like, well, this is the new direction.
No. The only thing that's changed is like he wanted to do like the Gotham PD show.
Yeah.
And then
Asylum.
Yeah, Warner Brothers wanted him to lean a little more heavily into the gaudy characters, and he kind of started doing Asylum, and then Gunn liked it and was like, can we do that for DCU? And then they canceled that because they decided to do something else. Like they incorporated, but Matt Reeves said that they incorporated parts of that into Penguin and Batman 2. So
cool.
Like, I think it's just like, it's all in development. Like those things have not been greenlit, which is something that Gunn has been pointedly arguing about lately. Like, nope, it was in development. It was not greenlit. We're just playing in a sandbox and seeing what we can come up with.
Yeah.
What we like.
The level of hopes you had, that was on you.
Mm-hmm.
Which, come on now. At this point in life, do we not all know that's the case?
Yeah, you would think. Like, there's no reason for them to try to keep it quiet. They can, but they know it's going to get leaked. Someone's going to bring up, like, hey, they're working on a Blitty-Doo. And you got to speak to that. Or you can do what the previous regime did and just never speak to anything. And then everyone's completely disappointed by all the lack of things that we were, quote unquote, promised.
Yeah.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
It's hard to even pin down how many different points about previous regime were problematic looking back. I mean, because there was the not telling us anything. Then there was the, when we would get stuff, it was lies.
I don't think it was lies. It was
some of it was just straight up lies.
Well, some of it was.
Or like, I mean, God, how many stories did we cover where it's like, okay, well, we're going to cover this, but also here's what we're going to do. We're going to point out the author because here's why it's relevant. This is a hit piece. This was literally a hit piece. Like, we can tell you everything except what time Ann Sarnoff called a motherfucker and said, can you do me a favor? Some of this has been relatively blatant.
Yeah. I just had this vision after all of these years, I just had a vision of us as two used soiled condoms having a smoke outside of a saloon.
Yeah.
Like we started out as a couple of fresh-faced kids, happy to talk about comics, and then we got dragged through the muck.
If you kind of. If you let everyone be the age they would currently be now and used the same shitty old cameras and refilmed Clerks with us on the outside, it would look about like our souls do some days.
Yep. We were stretched, each of us stretched over gigantic penises.
Yeah.
And jizzed into.
Yeah.
Until we were just paper thin.
And that's where we get the word the ringer.
And so now here we are, covered in jizz and nut butter. Truffle butter.
I assume what you're saying is still terrible. I kind of tuned out a few seconds ago in anticipation.
Yeah.
I just sort of saw it coming and just didn't pay attention.
Yeah, it's all right.
Figured you wrap up and, you get out of your system. You'll be all right.
Well, it's a combination of shit and cum, you see.
Yeah.
No. Well, yes, it is. Truffle butter, yeah. Anyway, Colin Farrell. I hope he listens to this somehow. Colin Farrell.
Instead of that, segue, into what is seemingly a beautiful and decent person. Off that topic.
He said he drew inspiration from Burgess Meredith and Danny DeVito for his portrayal of the Penguin, but later did give a shout out to Robin Lord Taylor on Gotham.
Oh.
So that was cool.
Kind of would like to know what that nuance is.
You don't expect Farrell to bring up Robin Lord Taylor.
You know what? You never know. It's not like he didn't spend years playing this character and powerfully, I would add. To that end, I was wondering, I wonder how much time Farrell has to do his process where he researches other versions. Some people don't even like to look at other versions. Everybody has their version of things. But to be fair, if I had to phrase it this way, is not Robin's the best long-term version of that character you've seen done? That's the most time I've ever spent with a Penguin and the most talented and best version I've ever seen on screen. So if I were Colin, I might watch a few episodes.
Yeah. Have you seen that video?
Just a highlight reel.
Have you seen the video of Danny DeVito getting a lie detector test?
No.
And they They
Why
showed
would he
him
lie about anything?
I don't know. It was fun though because they showed him a picture of Michael Keaton. He goes, "Oh yeah, that's my Batman."
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "Is that your favorite?" He's like, "Yeah, that's my favorite. That's my Batman. That's the only Batman to me." And he's like, "You don't even have to show me the other Batman. I don't care." So they showed him a picture of Colin. They gave him a picture of Colin Farrell, and they're like, "What do you think?" He's like, "Oh, he's a lovely guy. My Penguin's better." And then like the person doing the lie detector goes, "Yeah, he's telling the truth."
Yep, spot on.
So the showrunner, Lauren LaFranc, said she was inspired by a real-life mayor who was corrupt, but still helpful to the community. She wanted to embrace Farrell's comedic timing and warm audiences up to the character. Cristin Milioti, who played Sophia Falcone, watched the movie The Batman multiple times and only skimmed through the comics, choosing to focus on immersing herself in the franchise's world. She said she had an amazing experience. And as a child, she used to imagine playing in Gotham, often picturing herself as the Riddler's daughter or another villain. And they said there might not be a clear hero in this story. Reeves said that the show fosters empathy for the characters even as they commit unspeakable acts.
I was getting some of that vibe from the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he does specifically mention heroes in it.
Mm-hmm.
And how there ain't none.
So the Renzi Feliz hints at his new character, Victor, a street-smart kid whose life is transformed after encountering Oz. Mm-hmm. The dynamic between Oz and Victor is apparently akin to an upside-down version of Batman and Robin. I liked their chemistry in the trailer.
Yeah. I also really kind of like having a character like that around as a good way of pulling thoughts out of the Penguin's character.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we don't have to just guess at all the inner psychology. No, we get to hear him do badass fucking Penguin Colin Farrell speeches all movie because I have this protege sitting around. Hell yeah, guys. Good job.
Yeah.
And it also weirdly good American accent. Still, fuck you, Colin. Well, who did he make a deal with?
The devil.
That shit ain't right.
Sophia and Oz share a long history, and there may be flashbacks to the early stages of their relationship. An event from their past causes immediate tension between them. Both are tenacious fighters, and their conflict will have lasting effects on Gotham. Their relationship is like a dance on a razor's edge. By the way, the showrunner did confirm that the series sets up the Batman Part 2. Like, we know that the Penguin happens like a week after the Batman. And as such, I guess the Penguin happens like a week before the Batman Part 2. Something
that
like
actually
that
would be funny, is if he still has a couple bruises in the second movie 4 years later.
That would be great. Yeah.
Old Pattinson won't age. He'll be fine. We could do a third movie 10 years from now.
All right, so producer Dylan Clark says there's another television exploration we're going to do. We're looking at this entire world as it relates to who Batman is, the antagonists around them, all the crime that is to be has to be navigated in the city, and trying to figure out where are the areas that are best to explore. So there's another one in development. There's another show in development.
Yeah, true.
I'm fine. Let's do it. Let's do all the things. You want to talk about the trailer?
The trailer itself?
Yeah,
I can. I mean, it won't change my opinion from where I was. It just kind of looks pretty sick, but I didn't really know much more about Sophia until now.
Dude, Sophia was in Arkham.
Yeah. And
when she says she's been rehabilitated, she says it's so creepy. Like, that actress, Cristin Milioti, is just so great. Mm-hmm. The way Farrell looks so uneasy when she says she's been rehabilitated. That was all I needed, was that small clip.
It's true though. He does have like the sneer on his lip. What he's thinking in that moment is like, rehabilitated, huh? It looks like you just killed your chauffeur before you walked in this place.
They showed her beating some dude to death in prison.
Yeah. You gotta love the edit though, because it really does look like he just watched that beating, and it's beautiful, beautiful filmmaking, guys. But I was excited about her. I didn't know how. His thing about there not being any heroes makes a lot of sense, because I think I did that. That was my main takeaway from the trailer. I'm still the same spot. I'm going to see it a couple months from now, which has snuck up on me. Sounds great. We're all on board.
Mm-hmm.
Only thing really was different was a little bit of time with her, and just how, I'm not going to like walk away with any warm feelings from this.
Yeah. I love Cristin Milioti. I've loved her in everything I've seen her in.
Yeah.
My only real concern was her playing Sophia. You know, in the comics, Sophia is a tall, broad, very strong-looking woman. And I was like, I'm not sure I see it completely, but I'm willing to give it a shot. And this trailer sold me. I'm like, all right, you look petite, but strong as shit. You got that crazy strong.
Yeah.
I'm down with it.
I'm deeply more scared of crazy strong, I think, than like predictable big person strong.
Yeah.
Truly. One of them in a room, at least I know what I'm looking at. Dude that's 6'7", he's going to use his height and weight to kill me. I know how I'm going to die. I don't know how the crazy person's going to kill me. In an elevator, I'm not even going to see it coming. That may be better, actually.
Ironically, though, Cristin Milioti does not look like the character in the Tim Sale drawn comic.
No.
Cristin Milioti does look like a Tim Sale drawing in real life.
In real life, yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, that's coming out September 19th. And Colin Farrell's Penguin is returning in the Batman Part 2. Mm-hmm. So get that on your dick. Why is everything a condom? I don't understand.
I don't know.
I'm sick.
I thought they were
that's my
markedly
excuse.
Full, as you described them earlier. Why do you keep trying to shove anything into that?
There's a new condom.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Joker 2, because I don't know how to say it. Folie, I do. Is that how we're saying that?
Yeah.
I've never even heard it with my ears.
I've read that term over and over again. I don't think I've ever actually heard anyone say it. I'll go ask Duolingo Hal later. Mm-hmm. Hey, bro. Hey, Al. How do you do this?
Yeah.
Trailer itself looks good, though.
Yeah. So the first movie ended with Arthur heading to Arkham. In the second movie, he's going to meet Lee Quinzel, not a psychiatrist, a fellow patient with whom he builds a special bond. Todd Phillips says he is not a crime lord. He won't be a key player in Gotham's underworld. He's more or less the same guy from the first movie, even if he's a bit famous now. Phillips said we would never do that because Arthur clearly is not a criminal mastermind. He was never that.
Good with it. In my version, even in the long-term, over decades versions of the books, I still don't think of him as like a crime lord.
They do it different ways, depending on which of the three Jokers it is, I guess.
I mean, true, but I just if I were one of the other crime lords in Gotham, and I would think of him as like, oh, he's got an army now. Okay, whatever the hell joke he's up to now is going to involve people this time. Mm-hmm. But other times you'd just see him for a year be completely alone with seemingly no game plan, and then out of the end of it, he's fighting Batman on a blimp. Okay.
Oh, there he is in a judge's outfit.
Yeah.
Fighting Batman with a giant wrench.
Yeah.
All right.
It was a quiet 6 months. We should have known something was coming. But I don't necessarily see him as a crime lord. Like, I don't think when I'm making a drug deal with a Falcone in this universe that I have to worry about Joker's opinion on it. Unless he has an opinion on it. In that case, it probably has nothing to do with the drugs whatsoever. And I am probably going to be dead.
Yeah. I mean,
for reasons that I have no control over and could not change.
I think in the comics and in most importantly, the animated series, but also the Burton Batman movie, he can be anything he really feels like being. Mm-hmm. Sometimes he's just an agent of chaos. Sometimes he's like, I'm going to actually settle down and build like a little empire here. Mm-hmm. And as we know from Batman the Animated Series, he can run an empire, but even he's not crazy enough to take on the IRS.
Yeah.
That was the episode Joker's Millions. I do recommend it, even though it's one of those where he looks like a bug.
Yeah. It was a good one, though.
It is a good one. Phillips said Arthur has become this symbol to people, this unwitting symbol, now paying for the crimes of the first film, but at the same time finding the only thing he ever wanted, which was love. That's always what he's been about, even though he's been pushed and pulled in all these directions. So we tried to just make the most pure version of that. And this person, Barbera, who's over the Venice Film Festival, referred to it as a dystopian musical. I think it's one of the most daring, brave, and creative films in recent American cinema. And I think it really confirms Todd Phillips as one of the most creative directors working at the moment. They're saying it's darker, it's daring, completely different from the first film. And when we watched, I watched the trailer. I know I sent it to you. The thing that kills me about this is I don't want this fucking movie. I have been excited negative 100%. I have been a black hole of interest. And then I watched this trailer and I am 200% on board. It looks captivating as hell. It took me right back to the first film. I'll be damned. Watching Joker bash that judge's head in with that giant mallet is possibly the most Joker thing I've ever seen on film.
It was something about his body language. I don't know how else to describe it, but it was something about his body language when he just sort of, it's almost an afterthought that he's enjoying way too much.
Yeah.
It does. Joker being caught on film thing, it reminds me a lot of Heath Ledger's walking away in the nurse outfit.
Yeah.
Just nailing. I feel like that, I don't know, embodied chaos in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. I already have all this empathy for Lady Gaga's Lee Quinn. I now exist in a buzz, and I can't wait to see this thing. Whenever I think of it, I go, yeah, it's going to be good.
Well, good. Because you only got like a few days.
It's more than a few days.
It'll only feel like a few days.
It will only feel like a few days. What did you think of the trailer?
Dug it. As far as, it's funny when he says though that it's nothing like the first one, because and I'm sure a lot of how they're building it is going to be very different, but it left me feeling a certain kind of way that I feel is going to be similar. Where same thing, I want to see this movie. Very excited. I'm going to probably watch it in theater. I feel like it's going to go like the first one. I'm going to watch it in theater, kind of mentally obsess about it for 2 or 3 weeks. Just as the thoughts eventually kind of peter down. But I'll think about certain scenes and I'll redigest it in my head over and over again. And then that'll just sort of fade away. And then it'll be like now where I think I've watched the movie again, never in one piece, only pieces. I don't think I've ever actually seen the entire thing again. I do feel like I know the movie very well though, but I wouldn't just go back and watch this one for fun. It's an experience to watch Joker.
Yeah.
You need to mean it when you sit down and watch this thing. I'm probably going to be the same with this, but I'm also going to think, God, it was brilliant, but I don't need to do that all the time.
Right. I mean, that's how I feel about things like Primer.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, oh God, that's a brilliant movie. Oh my God, I recommend it to everybody.
Yeah, it's great.
I've seen it.
It'll be another 7 years before I have the emotional capacity to watch that again.
Well, I had about a 2-month period where I watched it about 6 times because I was obsessed with it, trying to figure out like exactly how the mechanics work of it. And I haven't watched it since. But
it's been thoroughly implanted. You're good.
Yeah. Superman and Lois set to release. Season 4 set to release October 17th. Did you see the new trailer?
Not the trailer. I watched the Doomsday one, not the trailer.
Okay.
I was curious about the Doomsday fight, but the trailer itself will be a trailer for a show that I'm not up to date with. So,
Gotcha. I won't go into what the trailer goes into, though. But
I won't mind for spoilers because I'm way past being able to complain about that. But
okay, fine. They're straight up doing Death of Superman.
Gotcha.
Like the trailer is like Lois sobbing and telling the children that their dad's dead.
Nice.
Like is that and several other things, and Lex Luthor going, Superman's dead. Can't we just enjoy it? It looks great. Doomsday fight looked great.
I did. That's the part I saw was the big clip of the Doomsday fight. Made me want to go see the rest of it because who doesn't like a Doomsday fight?
I'm sitting here shocked. I'm sitting here going like, these episodes cost like, I think I have read 4.5 million recently.
Yeah, they were up there. You
say up there, but those special effects looked better than The Flash.
Oh, yeah.
Like the movie.
Yeah.
The Flash.
No.
It's kind of shocking how, I think they've had more time.
That's the thing is more time. I mean, yeah, because it's one thing to spend 4.5 million on one project and get to the end without a bunch of hiccups, but it's another, it doesn't matter if you have $800 million you're throwing at the project if you only end up with $500,000's worth of time because of all the changes that happen. I think they probably just got to make the Superman fight, but they probably just got to make a Superman Doomsday fight without a lot of alterations, and it seemed to look great as a result of it.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that cracks me up watching that is like, man, I get it's fun to take a fight to space, and it's probably really easy CGI to do in the background if I had to guess. But man, is it just weird to you to see people just floating around punching each other like that? I don't know why it feels so awkward.
It doesn't feel awkward to me. What does feel awkward to me is watching Superman breathe heavily in space.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I wasn't watching that part.
Like, there's a point where he like punches Doomsday, and then they just like pan in on him, they close in on him, just
Panting.
breathing heavily, just panting. And I'm like, what the fuck are you breathing, bro? What are you breathing, bro?
You think that's air you're breathing? Yeah.
You're in space, bro.
That's a good point. I'm glad it's laser vision proper and not some sort of combustion based vision. Wouldn't work across space.
Yeah,
it does though. Like I liked the like in Man of Steel when they fly at each other and punch. There's some motion. They fly at each other and like the punches. It's just the thing they're holding out while they strike the other person. It's jousting really.
Mm-hmm.
Where like this kind of battle, I see it all the time. You just you just like float next to someone and just go, hiya, and then the other person does that to you for a second. And you just trade. It always looks a little funny to me.
Well, when I see, I can't not see it. I read the teleplay years ago of J.J. Abrams, the first part of his Superman trilogy he was proposing, and I remember like when it leaked on Ain't It Cool News, and
is that one Reborn or something?
Dude, I don't even remember what it was called, but I remember one of the things that was described was like, oh yeah, Superman knows like Kryptonian Krav Maga, and he does like martial arts in the air, and everyone was like, what the fuck is this bullshit?
Yeah.
And even I was like, how'd they do that? How are they gonna do that? Wait a minute, hold on. That sounds like bullshit.
It does sound a bit silly.
But
so, I mean, better use of it though. What was it called? The Master Race? That I want to say that's what it was.
The Frank Miller thing?
Yeah, the Frank Miller thing.
Yeah.
Which is
there was that. That exists.
I still regret the title itself. But I get what he was going for. But so the end of that though, they do a similar vibe where it's basically Superman versus a bunch of Kryptonians, and he starts actually fighting, like proper fighting using style. Mm-hmm. And you have old ass Frank Miller style Batman just kind of watching him with like his shoulders slumped, mad about it. So it's been pretty much like, why are you mad? Because he could have done this the whole time. Like 50 years I've been fighting like next to this guy, and he just act like a drunk brute, and like he's got this style. Yeah, when he actually has to use it, he knows how to move.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I need to go back and
far less flippant. I want to say it was like right in the last bit of it.
I need to go. The only thing I really remember from Master Race is the Kandorians killing Palmer.
That might be it. Yeah, they were Kandorians, whoever it was I was thinking about.
Yeah, I mean, they're still Kryptonians. They're just, he sized up the bottled city of Kandor.
Yeah, I forgot where they came from.
Like a dumb dick. Yeah.
It didn't work out as well as you'd hope.
No.
Hey, you're free. It's awesome, right? Oh, God. You want to do what? Oh. Can you get back in the bottle? No. Oh.
So we've talked about it on the show before that Tom Cavanaugh was coming back for Superman and Lois.
Yep.
We don't know who he's playing.
Correct.
And now we're getting word that it might not be just for the series finale. It might be like a recurring bit.
I think I even saw the word regular being tossed around with some oomph behind it.
Mm-hmm. And hell been clarified, and it's not just the season finale. There's a lot of cameos, more than any other season, I would say. But that came out because it's a character in the comics, and I mean, it's like somebody met Tom Cavanaugh, went back in time, created this character, and then was like, hey, you guys should cast this guy. Like that. It was the easiest casting of all time.
Yeah.
I feel like that's with everything, though. Like, Cavanaugh can do anything.
I don't know. I don't get to see him do a lot. He's very, very good at a few things.
I didn't say I see him do a lot. I say I can see him doing anything. I think he can do anything.
I think he probably can. now that you've said it, I realize I haven't really gotten to see him stretch too far.
Did you ever watch that short film he made with Grant Gustin?
Mm-mm. I forgot
that was pretty fun. That was pretty fun. I don't know what you mean you haven't seen him stretch too far. Like he played like 3,000 different wells on the Flash that were all very different.
He did. I just mean I've never seen him on, some like another. It seems like the kind of show that I see him on is a type of show a lot. I don't really get to see him just completely out of water and just see how he does.
Yeah, I felt like his character on Scrubs as JD's brother was pretty different from his character on Ed.
Yeah, a lot. But there's a fast talking charming facet to what he does that he does extremely well. That's what I'm saying. I've never seen him just thrown in as like a, I don't know, man. Just throw him in as a character he shouldn't be able to play and see what happens. Like, what happens if you just throw him in as a straight-laced police officer with, you know, an alcohol problem and a kid that doesn't talk to him anymore? No jokes, no nothing.
I mean, I feel like that's just Thawne.
It could easily just be Thawne.
That's just Thawne without powers, man.
There's the funny part. I think Kavanaugh would fucking kill it. I'm just realizing I've never seen his IMDb get stretched that far. I don't think I've ever seen him get thrown into that role.
That might, you know, someday when we get some of this DC content behind us, that might be kind of fun to go back and just watch some Kavanaugh stuff and be like, go through his IMDb and be like, all right, did he stretch himself?
That's true. And I don't think I would mind a bit if we just did the year of Kavanaugh.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Just me and you. One pledge. We'll watch nothing but Tom Kavanaugh the entire year.
Uh-huh. On that note, I'm going to go to
We're
break.
going to do that and drink Dr. Pepper 10.
Oh, what is that?
I used to do the radio ads for him.
Oh.
I never heard that confirmed, but I would bet blood on it.
All right, we are back from our break. Weed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Harley Quinn, the animated series returning sometime in November. We don't have an exact date. I'm excited about that. I need to catch up on Kite Man.
Yeah.
Did you remember Kite Man was still happening?
Yeah, I have gotten to that one.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Still so good.
Oh, absolutely. If you haven't seen Harley Quinn,
They've missed
give that a shot.
I mean, I think we're on episode 4 right now or something. They've missed nothing as far as transitioning from one fun show to another.
Mm-hmm. I miss Wanda Sykes, but what are you going to do?
You know.
Creature Commandos coming out in December. Again, not that far away. We're in August.
Yeah.
As we record, August 4th.
Which didn't strike me how close we are to... time really has passed this year. But...
Yes.
More so even than the last recent ones that seemed quick. But it just... We're that close to an actual gun thing. A proper one. Not just one he says he's orphaning into the universe.
You mean grandfathering in?
I'm seeing it as more of a gathering orphan situation.
Your parents are dead.
Yeah.
We will adopt you.
That really is, though. Like, it's as though he went to the orphanage and you maybe.
Yeah. He's Bruce Wayne.
No.
He's Bruce Wayne, or DCU is Bruce Wayne coming in and adopting sad orphans from the DCEU.
He just goes and picks 3 orphans from the orphanage. All right, good news. I have somewhere for you to stay. Bad news. I killed your parents.
Yeah.
Well, do you want the deal or not, Blue Beetle?
Look, here's the truth. All right. Yeah, he kind of killed their parents. But
to be sure, I'm putting that way too bluntly.
Yeah.
To anticipate some of what you're about to say.
It's in that way where, like, Walter Hamada and Toby Emmerich gangbanged them to very nearly death.
Yeah.
And then James Gunn came in and saw them in their state and went, "Oh, you poor bastards," and pulled the plug.
Yeah. Like imagine there was a murder.
There was. We've been covering it for 10 years.
So there's a murder and there's a corpse, and then that building, that office space goes for rent, and then James Gunn rents it. He got in trouble basically for trying to clean the place up from the murder and dispose of the corpse kindly in the dumpster out back. Basically, there's a bunch of pictures of him taking the corpse out back and throwing it away, wrapped in plastic. He didn't commit the murder.
Right. And I will say this as well. Since people still can't get around or over Henry Cavill, I think it's completely fair to, as much as I love Henry Cavill, I think it's completely fair looking at the numbers. Like, Warner Brothers went out of their way, screamed it to the heavens. Henry Cavill's in Black Adam. Henry Cavill's in Black Adam. You got to go check it out. Hierarchy. Bloody-do. And nobody gave a fuck. That's a pretty good indicator of star power. Oh, they don't care about Henry Cavill. General audience does not care about Henry Cavill as Superman. At least, not if it's got Black Adam attached. Don't know exactly where that needle fell.
Real hard to say. Because there were like 7 different knives in that back. And I don't know which one. I don't know which one, if it wasn't there, might not have killed him.
But it don't look great.
It
Either way.
Well, let me put it this way. From that, what I can takeaway are only two things. One, that it might have contributed to the death. And two, we can say for sure that it wasn't enough to save it from dying. Putting Henry Cavill in sure as hell didn't get that thing $500 million.
No.
Now, it would have helped if it didn't leak and so and so and blah, blah, blah. But
would it have? I think they knew it wouldn't.
I don't know.
I think that they had test scores on Black Adam, and they knew that it was not going to catch on, and they had to try to get people in as soon as possible, make it look like it was a big deal, so more people would come. I think that was their strategy. They knew it wasn't going to be a success. They were like, the best we could do is make it look like a bunch of people who want to see Henry Cavill back as Superman go support this thing on the weekend. Make it look like it's a bigger success than it is. So more people, more of the general audience who don't keep up with, Rotten Tomatoes and all that horse shit will go and check it out because, here, Cavill's back as Superman.
Yeah.
I think that was their gambit.
I mean, no matter where it is in the link, where that link is in the chain, I guess, rather, somewhere along the line, someone with that knowledge decided that everyone else should know about it instead of having it in the theater. I'm not sure it would have saved much I think there would have been more opening weekend just from people going to see it just to see what the big deal was, if it was truly a secret that there will be a big deal. And we didn't really know what it was. But in any case, someone decided that should be public knowledge. And I don't know. It was a poor plan with a poor outcome, and I couldn't have expected anything outside of the release of that movie.
Yep.
Regardless of where the decision was made.
Yeah, it really was death by 1,000 cuts on those
last few.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, Black Adam was before Gunn was announced and before he announced his new universe, so you can't blame that. Black Adam just failed pretty much all on its own.
No, it's on merit.
It wasn't terrible. It was just meh.
It would have been it would have been an okay-ish film. If that whole universe had done very well, we would have still said that wasn't our favorite of them.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was a
my
bad
favorite
movie
part of that. My favorite part of that movie was them playing Smashing Pumpkins at the beginning.
It's not a good start for me.
I know.
And yet I came to really enjoy the movie. So
it was for me, but it just kind of petered after that. It really fell.
That's a good point. I enjoyed the movie that I enjoyed it in spite of that introduction.
Yeah.
That says something.
All right. Getting back to Creature Commandos, what did you think about the teaser trailer?
Oh, looks great.
Yeah, I was giddy.
Yeah. High on the humor. Gonna enjoy that.
Yeah, so you couldn't do Task Force X anymore. No, they said we can't use human prisoners. These assholes aren't human.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Then did you catch Alan Tudyk as Dr. Phosphorus?
Yeah.
Just, he's pissing!
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I even liked G.I. Robot. It has been so long since G.I. Robot has sent Nazis back to hell.
Nazis back to hell is the line that really got me out of the trailer. Something about that one. The giddiness, I guess.
Yeah.
And also, you forget how much the true WW2, outlook really was. Nazis! Gotta kill us some.
Uh-huh.
Send them back to hell, brothers. I forget how much that was the war cry.
Yeah. And now we just, block them on Facebook.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, uncles who like Trump.
Sorry.
Anyway.
We've all got them down here.
Yeah. So, Superman, James Gunn's Superman skipped SDCC because it was too soon to show anything. Safran said, from my perspective, it is just too soon. A year is truthfully a long time for a campaign, and so from our perspective, I think we go stronger and harder over a shorter period rather than stretching it out. That's our instinct on that.
So instead they went, here's this shirt.
That sold out.
Yeah.
That has been selling out across the internet. Apparently Hot Topics just got some in. Gunn shared a link. I sent that to you because I thought, that's a pretty blue. You'll like that.
It is a pretty blue. I learned so many things. Hot Topic themselves might have even learned that they were still in business when this shirt started selling.
Yeah, I haven't thought about them in a long time.
I haven't either. Oh God, it's got 1 2-star review. That's hilarious.
So now the film has wrapped. It's done.
Oh, this is great. The one review is about the shipping, and yeah, of course it is.
Oh. Well, I mean, what else would it be?
Yeah. about the thing you have no control over in their view. Yeah. They've wrapped, though.
Yeah, Superman is wrapped. Over to Peacemaker. The season 2 got a surprising update from director Peter Sollett. Joel Kinnaman is coming back in some capacity as Rick Flag Jr.
Okay.
I'm assuming flashbacks.
Yeah.
Don't know.
I hope it's a ghost so he can complain about being killed by a piece of toilet.
That would be fun. Or if, like, dead man just, like, drug him somewhere and be like, look, you got to tell him. You got to tell him this. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Just, do something weird.
Gentleman Ghost brings him back because he thinks that's just one step too far to kill a man that way.
Mm-hmm. Gentleman Ghost.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those characters, like, all I really have to do is think about their name.
Their mere existence is just enough for a chuckle. Yeah.
Yeah. They did a My Adventures with Superman panel at the Comic-Con there. They put up a character design for Superboy.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like 90s Superboy. Like, he's got the leather jacket. I mean, he looks just like 90s Superboy.
I was wondering which version you meant, I guess. Because in my head, there's still like that Superboy that it just looks like a oversized toddler in a way too tight costume. It's like the one I remember from the ads of Superboy. Not the live action ones. It's always the animated version that overlays it. Sorry.
Are you talking about John Kent?
Think so.
Like the Super Sons version?
No. I'm talking about like this, like the tiny version. I forget.
That's the tiniest version I know.
Where is he?
When he was a kid, when he was running around with Damien.
Oh, no. I mean, like, there's one from back in, like, the 60s that I always think of, I guess, when I'm thinking about that era.
Oh, he didn't look a toddler. He just looked like a teenager.
I'll try to find you a picture. I want to say there was one on this wall somewhere, but yeah, it just looks like, to me, it always looks like a 7-year-old that's really 3 in a weird costume. I don't know how to describe it. I'll find you this later.
7-year-old that is really 3.
Yeah.
Well, either way, I'm talking about, like, Con-El. I'm talking about Superboy from the 90s, who's half Lex Luthor, half Superman.
Mm-hmm. That guy.
Leather jacket, linen glasses.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited that they've already introduced Supergirl. They actually even put up a little still of them like crossing the road like Abbey Road.
Nice.
It was like Superman, Lois, Supergirl, and Gimme. I've really got to get back into that show. I've watched the first like 6 episodes, and I loved it, but then my wife decided she wanted to watch it, so I've been kind of holding off on that. But it's good so far, from what I've seen.
I'll get in that with you.
It does look anime-ish.
All right, I'll try then.
But it's like written for us, so we'll see if it's actually the animation style that bothers you.
I'm not unreasonable, I don't think. We'll see.
You are sometimes.
I am.
Lorenzo Di Bonaventura, Jesus Christ, that name, gave an update on the Constantine sequel. He says the script is being written right now and it's not that far away. I mean, we've got to get a good script, but we're starting great because the movie star that everybody wants to be in business with wants to be this character again. So there's a lot of room in that franchise to do the kind of soul-searching, crazy, quasi-religious that made the first movie so satisfying. And it doesn't surprise me at all why Keanu wants to do that.
I'm just happy to hear it's still moving along, too.
Yeah, me too. Akiva Goldsman says that the Schumacher cut of Batman Forever does exist. There is a preview called Preview 1. Most of the material that is available is put back together. There's not a lot out there that folks haven't seen that you couldn't cobble together. I did talk to Warner Brothers. This was one administration ago. My fantasy was to try and resurrect Batman Forever as a sort of celebration with Joel after he died. He then went on to talk about what else it would take to get it there for release. He says there are some visual effects that need to be finished. There would be some music that would have to be, if not rescored or rewritten. The whole soup to nuts was about $1 million. They were on the verge of doing it, and then Warner got sold again. There's a whole nother DC. Once the new DC world is moving forward, I will bat my eyes with everybody again and see if once more we can answer that.
It's funny. $1 million is such a low price tag for something. Like most studios could spit that out of a couch, but dude, there's private investors that would probably give you the $1 million for that.
Probably.
I mean, I guess it wouldn't come with the rights and everything else you need is the problem, but there's probably a couple people that gladly GoFundMe that one.
Distribution and marketing.
Oh.
But
there's one guy who
man,
he'll have a distribution of one, My Private Theater. Here's $1 million. Make it right now.
I'm like, hey fellas, you're looking for big streaming things that you don't have to spend a lot of money on. That's probably going to be a good one, because I would watch the hell out of that just to see what was different.
Yeah.
I remember Batman Forever as flawed, but I remember it fondly. I would love to watch a different version of that, and one that is renowned for being darker. All right, we got one more piece.
Do you regret watching it? No, not at all. Was it good? No.
It was better than Black Adam.
Would you watch it again? Probably. But you said it was bad. Yeah. And?
Look, think about Batman Forever. It's not quite, or not really anywhere, almost anywhere near the level of camp that Batman and Robin is. Val Kilmer kills it. He's the movie actually goes really into a lot of like Batman's psychology, Bruce's psychology, and if none of that interests you, Jim Carrey is still a hell of a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah. If it's only an analysis of watching him at that stage, I'll take it.
So last piece of news here. Kevin Feige commented on Marvel versus DC, or the Marvel DC crossover that everyone keeps thinking is going to happen someday. He didn't dissuade us. He says, I think about it occasionally, like any fan would think about it. I don't know when in the heck that would ever happen, or how that would happen. But we've been talking too long for me to go, never. We'd never be able to do that. We'll never say never. But no plans. I've seen the paparazzi shots of the Superman set looking cool. So he's, James Gunn, so he's focusing on that. And we're focusing on Deadpool and Wolverine.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that's fair.
Not a bad attitude. I do wish they could almost make a public announcement kind of thing. Like, the thing that used to be popular, used to be 30, it's probably 40 now, where like you have a best friend, and we're like, well, we'll get married at 40 if we don't find the other person. Just for convenience sake,
Yes.
I wish the studios would do that with the crossover. It's okay. When we both admit we've run out of steam and we want to bury this idea, we'll do the one big hurrah.
Uh-huh.
And then that way we, the fans, could also know that would be the end of the fireworks show and don't stick around after.
Oh, they'll never do the end of the fireworks show. When they do the end of the fireworks show, it will be accidental. It'll be like, well, God, that didn't do well at all.
I know. That's what I'm saying, is it'd be nice if we just had the acknowledged and, we're going to do the crazy thing. Unless you've seen the crazy thing, we're not done. Once you've seen it, we're over.
Kevin, the last 17 movies haven't done well.
Could have been the crazy thing.
We're going to call it. But no, can we just try to figure out one more thing to like reinvigorate? No. We're hemorrhaging money.
Yeah.
What are you going to play instead? Westerns. We're going back to Westerns.
They're cheap. No one's thought about them for a while. I figure there's an era. A resurgent in the works. We're just got to make it happen.
But no, it would be, I think it'll happen.
I've said that for a long time, since Endgame especially, that I've been of the mind of that for some time. Yes, it'll die with a whimper in the night between movies in some people's cases. Like, it'll be the sequel that was supposed to be there that was set up that never happens, cliffhangers left on. Like, you won't get to end with something like Endgame and $2 billion and then let you walk away. Yeah. Fuck you. It's never going to end that way.
Yeah. These are flights of fancy. Like I don't hold any, delusion that either Marvel or DC will have some spectacular ending that will make me feel like, man, did I just have like a 20-year, course meal. It will die.
Yeah.
Sad and alone.
Yeah.
Under a porch like an old dog.
There won't be a sense of completion. Angels will not sing. It won't be that kind of thing.
Will it have been an amazing feat? Yes.
Yeah. And, bear in mind, there will be, horror stories on the ground level of it. There will be, people who pinned their life's dreams on just that last gasp of getting in the Marvel thing right as it was going to still just get them a little bit of visibility and really kill it, give them the next step in their career. And in the middle of the night, they'll get an email and it'll be over.
Mm-hmm. Probably.
And the catering orders will be spoilt.
I don't think it's ever going to go away completely.
Yeah, maybe not.
At this point.
I mean, it has to at some point. I just don't know how.
They'll reboot.
Maybe it is just a permanent genre that we decide is a separate genre at some point.
Maybe. I do think it might have to go like, I kind of feel like Deadpool and Wolverine is going to change the game a bit. I already think they're moving towards spending less money. And I'm not sure they would have guessed that it would have made almost $1 billion in a week.
I mean,
who could have guessed that?
I could have hoped for it, but I wouldn't have dared bet on it. I mean, having seen it, I would certainly say if you've actually seen that movie, you're maybe not that surprised. Only surprised that that many people were able to show up that quickly.
Yeah.
But like, I'm not surprised that there are people who have seen it 3 or 4 times because I wish I could.
I mean, especially like it's so funny because I've seen people on Twitter earlier on before the numbers started coming out, like Deadpool and Wolverine is gonna do terribly. I went to my theater and there were 3 people there. Yeah, motherfucker, there were like 3 people at our theater too. You go early enough, people don't come to the movies.
Yeah.
Guess what? Jesus Christ, like $800 million in a week.
Yeah, it was stupid money. And if I get a chance, I'll gladly go contribute a little bit more.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, the only reason I wasn't sitting in a theater yesterday watching it with Bethany is because we were both sick as shit.
Yeah, yeah.
Like we're both like over here like sneezing and blowing our noses and hacking and dying.
Yeah.
Watching freaking Married with Children and Back to the Future. But
you start fantasizing like, can I send you a doctor's note and pay like double and you let me stream it one time at home?
Oh God.
Just once, I promise. Just give me a
that
USB drive that self-destructs at the end of the footage.
But that was our plan. Our plan was to see it this weekend together.
Yeah.
Because she wants to see it, and damn it, I'm tired of not being able to tell her stuff.
Yeah.
By the way, Jason and I already reviewed Deadpool and Wolverine. It's over on Patreon. We uploaded that last week. Available for the $5 members.
Yeah. There's some fawning on it.
Yeah, I'm proud of us. We've done a really good job with our Patreon lately.
We have gotten some stuff. A little more regular.
Patreon.com/DC on screen.
Mm-hmm.
You want to go and throw a wet $5 bill at us and get some extra content?
I don't want to get in your way of what is the smoothest transition to an actual outro you've ever done.
Mm-hmm. But here we are.
As you were.
All right, fine. Until next time. You just can't help yourself.
Yeah.
Keep some DC on your screen.
Bye.